Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and that is a live look of downtown Portland from our Shriners camera, and it's pretty nice out there right now. So for this Monday, June 23rd, and right in the middle there is the Hawthorne Bridge. If you see that with that trestle there going across the water, and we're going to be talking about that as part of this segment. Again, we are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We cover a wide range of segments every day, and we get to do longer form, 10, 15-minute interviews and conversations. And sometimes we get out of the studio and we go check some things out, and that's what we do with this one. So the Portland Street Art Alliance has partnered with a number of different artists around the city and the metro area to basically do public works involving local artists to paint murals on all kinds of different things, different segments of the city. I'm sure you've probably seen some of these. They incorporate a lot of local tie-ins of wherever it is that these go on, and that's the case for this one. There are some new columns now painted underneath the Hawthorne Bridge. So if you've ever been under the Hawthorne Bridge there on that east side of Portland, down there in that industrial district, it can be, let's be honest, it's a little gray, it's a little concretey, it's a little drab down there, and this is an effort to change some of that and just talk about the history of that area, but also incorporate some of these different artists from around the cities, from around the city, and their vision of what they can put in there on these giant columns. And there are some new ones that have been painted. There's dozens of them that are down there that have been. So we wanted to go down, highlight this, find out a little bit more about these partnerships, how that all works. So we spoke to Tiffany Conklin from Portland Street Art Alliance, and also to Paola De La Cruz, who's one of the artists who had just finished some of the work down there. So I wanted to share this with you. Here we go. All right, Tiffany, tell us where we're at right now.
Yeah, we are on the Madison Viaduct underneath the Hawthorne Bridge in the Central East Side between 3rd Avenue and Water Avenue is where all the murals are.
All right, so these murals are on these right here, but let's give everybody an idea too, just about your organization. Can you tell us about that?
Of course, yeah, Portland Street Art Alliance. We've been around now for, over 13 years. Initially, we were just an advocacy organization helping to support artists, educate them on the mural permitting processes and that kind of thing. And it has blossomed into a full 501c3 nonprofit, and we have a few staff members now. We do mural commission services for clients and property owners all around the Pacific Northwest, and we also do community art projects, which are funded by donations from the public and the business community, along with grants.
This is a very busy area around here. So when we're talking about, this section specifically, it was concrete, it was gray, it's kind of drab. So tell us about the idea behind all these.
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head there. We thought that this particular area, all of the corridors underneath the bridges, really just were pretty bland and gray. We deal with long winters here in Portland,
right.
And we just had this we really just envisioned just color going all the way down the way. Why not use the infrastructure of the city and make something really cool out of it?
So when you look at some of the businesses down here, what's that interaction been like as far as response and their contribution maybe?
The businesses have been really responsive and really supportive of this initiative, particularly Killian Pacific and North Rim Properties, both neighbors down the way here. They've both contributed donations to help us fill in some of the gaps where the grants aren't covering. So each wave that we've done, we've had at least one business sponsor that has sponsored a column. Also, what the businesses are helping us with, of course, is notifying all the neighbors that we're going to be blocking parking and, kind of staging all of our equipment here, providing the artists with bathrooms as well. That's critical. All the everyday needs, and storing our lifts.
When you talk about the Alliance just in general, you have murals going all over the city. There's a lot of things I'm sure people have seen, this being one of them that we're showcasing here, but there's a lot of those. And so when you look at those kinds of projects, what do you think that's doing for the city as a whole and for people, residents and visitors?
Yeah, absolutely. So for both people that live here and people who are visiting, it just really adds a level of interest to the city. It's something unique that's produced here by a lot, mainly regional artists, mainly local Portland artists actually. So it just really contributes to our sense of place in the spaces that we're traveling through, and kind of creates these place markers in your head. Like my mental map basically of Portland is where all the murals are. So it like kind of becomes like this focal point of like, oh, I know where that's at because the mural's there. And it like creates just something really unique that like it's not just a blank, boring, bland building after building, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen a lot of like interest. I always just kind of think like, oh, this wave's gonna like stop, and it just keeps going. That like people just really love seeing the streets activated this way.
Well, each one of these columns here is a different artist, is that right? Or certain artists?
Different groups. Yeah, so groups of columns. So we've worked with, let's see, 5 artists total on the columns. And each artist gets a handful, depending on how much grant funding and support we have at any given time. We'll usually get an artist to do at least 3 or more. So yeah, we've worked with Paola De La Cruz, Kyra Watkins, Jeremy Nichols, Hayden Center, and Devin Finley, all local Portland artists.
Nice. Yeah, and that's what we're talking about too, is these last columns here that were just done. I believe we have one of the artists here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's start here. First off, I want to say I love all the colors
that are
going on here. But tell us about, how you got involved with this project here.
Yes, so I just became part of the mural roster for Portland Street Art Alliance, and we've kind of just hit the ground running. They reached out for these, and I was immediately super down. I'm a little scared of heights, but I didn't tell them that. So yeah, it was kind of a challenge getting up here, but it was really fun. And for the colors, I just wanted something bright because I know at night it gets really dark and kind of scary.
Yeah, so what is it about it that you like so much?
I love taking up space in Portland. I'm not a native here, but I've been here long enough where I kind of feel like I am. And when I first moved here, it was a lot of like, oh, there's not a lot of black and brown people here. And I'm very stubborn, I'm a tourist, so I was immediately like, okay, I'm not leaving. Like if I leave, then that's one less brown person here. And so I feel like the art in the city is another way for me to like bring that out and have it be stationary in different parts of the city.
Yeah, it's something prominent and part of, I think going back to what you said, like cohesive with the neighborhood, like this is part of it. And let's talk about the art itself.
Yes.
So how does one go about deciding how to design a column?
Oh my goodness. I am very much, this is my first time doing a mural that's like, you walk around it. So the first thing I thought of was the flow, and like, I was like, okay, I want the main parts of the mural to be facing inward. And so I started off there, and then I just did like doodle dumping where I'm just drawing and thinking about the movement, and then slowly it just came about. It's not very helpful, but I don't know. I also look at past work and like what themes I see come up often and kind of integrate that throughout.
Yeah. Well, like for this one, for example, like tell us about what this is.
Oh, yeah. So this one, the theme for this one was math and science, and I'm really bad at those subjects. So I thought about it more of like shapes and like abstracts, because if I try to do something that's actually math and science, I don't know if I'd be able to translate it. But I know that I do a lot of shape-based work, so I started off there. And then I see ones and zeros a lot, so I thought, oh, that sounds like math.
That's math,
yeah. So I put that on there, and again, this is more about the flow and like more of a feeling than being super direct with the theme. Yeah.
Right, but being here and feeling the area and just as you're going through it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you have another one over there too. What's the theme behind that one?
So that one was food, and Portland as a food hub. And that's one of the main things I saw when I moved to Portland. There's just so many different kinds of food that I didn't even know existed, because I'm from the East Coast, so it's just, coastally is just so different than what I'm used to. But what I love that I experience here in Portland is like kind of family style sharing of food, and like being able to just grab, and like that experience alone feels very artful. And that was my inspiration for that. It's just like sitting around a big table and you're just sharing your culture and different foods and things that I see around in Portland.
Well, when you look at these columns, yours and everybody else's too, the other artists in here, what does it mean to you to see something like this?
Oh my God, I feel like I'm part of a big family, or like, it feels like a public art exhibition. So it feels nice to be able to like add on to it. And when I first came to see the columns before they had any paint on them, I definitely like walked around and saw what people were inspired of, and they're all so different. But you can tell like that which artist did what. And that's something that I kept in mind for inspiration when I was doing mine. It's like, how do I keep them focus on the theme, but also feel cohesive.
Yeah, to go with all those.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go again, Paola De La Cruz and Tiffany Conklin. So big thank you to both of them for having us out there to take a look at all of those columns and all the amazing artwork. And it's there free for people to go check out underneath the bridge right there. There's quite a lot of them, so you may want to spend a little bit of time if you have a nice day out and can go take a look at all of those. And thank you to Ann Armstrong for shooting and editing that as well. So if you ever have an idea for something that you think could do, we could go out and do a little segment on, or do something, a little bit longer form, something you see around the city, something you see around the region, whatever it could be, there's always an idea there. So feel free to email me, fox12now@kptv.com, fox12now@kptv.com. Can't guarantee we can do everything, but we're always looking to hear from you. So feel free to, again, send me that email, fox12now@kptv.com, if you have an idea of something that you think could be showcased in a segment like that. All right, and again, we have lots of things for you to take a look at there on the Fox 12 Oregon app. We cover a wide range of topics on this show, and we appreciate all of you who do so. So that's it for right now. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.